Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So before I get started with this video, I want to send my condolences to Representative Elijah Cummings' widow and his family. May God comfort you all during this very difficult time. May the brother Elijah Cummings rest in power and peace. This brother was a champion for civil rights. This brother was a soldier for those who are less fortunate. This brother will be widely missed by the people of Baltimore. He was widely loved and respected by the people of Baltimore. Again, may the brother rest in power and peace. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the great work of this brother, I will post links to articles that outline his history and spell out his legacy. So I hope that you all have time to read those articles and learn about this great man. So this morning I was on Facebook and I came across this article on the Grio. What I'm going to do is read from this article, summarize certain sections of this article, and then just provide my commentary about this whole situation. So this article is entitled, Right-Wing Host Claims God Killed Elijah Cummings for Opposing Donald Trump. Again, I'll post a link to this in the description box to this video. It says, a black conservative host who is known for his incendiary commentary is apparently seeking even lower ground by telling his listeners that he believes God killed Representative Elijah Cummings as punishment for opposing President Trump. It says, following Cummings' passing on October 17th, far-right commentator and pastor Jesse Lee Peterson took to his radio program to make claims that the late House Oversight Committee chair was just the most recent politician struck down by God for getting in Trump's way. That's what happened. This is what Jesse Lee Peterson had to say. He said, that's what happens when you mess with the great white hope. Spouted Peterson, who refers to President Trump as the great white hope. If you notice, John McCain, he dead, Peterson continues, listing other people he believes God has killed while playing the role of hitman for Trump. Charles Krauthammer, he dead, he continues. And Elijah Cummings, now he dead. They all didn't like the great white hope. They went against him. They talked about him. Now they all dead. That's amazing. So this is what this Negro pastor had to say. This step-it, fetch-it Uncle Ruckus had to say about Representative Elijah Cummings. And as I was reading this stuff, I just wondered to myself, like, what kind of God do you worship? Who do you worship? What kind of God would kill people for opposing Donald Trump? What kind of God would support a man like Donald Trump? I mean, if you read the Bible or you're familiar in any kind of way with Christianity, you know that Christianity preaches love thy neighbor as yourself. It talks about love and peace and forgiveness. You know, when we look at the example of Jesus, peace be upon him, we see someone who healed the sick, fed the hungry, somebody that was concerned about those who were the least among us. But when you look at Donald Trump's legacy, you see a man who is animated with hatred. Hatred towards immigrants, hatred towards black people, hatred towards women. A man who has no compassion for the poor, a man who's trying to take away basic benefits from the poor. While Jesus fed the poor and, healed the sick, this man is trying to take food away from the poor by ending food assistance. This man is trying to take away housing for the homeless by cutting Section 8. This man is talking about cutting all kinds of social programs. This man is openly hostile to the interests of black people. This man has made racist comments about Mexicans, calling them criminals, rapists, and drug dealers, and all this other stuff. This is a man who called black protesters sons of bitches. This is a man who spews all kinds of vulgarities on a regular basis, a man who bragged about sexually assaulting women. This is a man who encouraged his supporters to attack protesters at his demonstrations. But this is the man that you think that God put in power. This is the man that you think that God is serving as a hitman for. This tells you that these people are not worshiping a real God. They are worshiping the devil, man. They are the ones that are demonic. I mean, what kind of God would support a man like Donald Trump? A man who has no regard for human life. A man who had the opportunity to continue to protect the Kurds in Syria, but instead decided to pull out troops and leave the Kurds to be slaughtered. Leave a group of people to be slaughtered that were loyal to the United States, that fought side by side with the United States. I mean, what kind of God do people like Jesse Lee Peterson worship? And the fact that this man, Jesse Lee Peterson, will refer to this man, Donald Trump, as the great white hope just tells you how brainwashed and brain dead he is. Referring to a man that has contempt for his people as some great white hope. A man who's called Africa a shithole country and Haiti shithole countries. These are the words that come from Donald Trump's mouth. This is a man who discriminated against African Americans, a man who refused to rent to African Americans, a man who was sued by the Justice Department twice for housing discrimination. This is the man that you refer to as a great white hope, a man who put out a whole page ad in New York magazines and newspapers calling for the death penalty against young African American men who were falsely accused of the Central Park rape, and to this day this man has refused to apologize. This is the man that you call a great white hope, a man who's trying to attack affirmative action, tear down affirmative action, a program that made it possible for people like me to get an education. This is the man that you refer to as a great white hope, a man who joked about police brutality, a man whose administration views police brutality as some local issue when every other day black men are being killed by these police. This is the man you refer to as a great white hope. And you know, this guy is nothing but a modern day Uncle Ruckus, you know, a modern day Step and Fetch It, a modern day sellout, a Uncle Tom, a Benedict Arnold, and he should be ashamed of himself, man. He is a disgrace. And the only reason why this man is on the air is because he gets patronized by white racists who love their dummies. They love the dummies that they can use as puppets to spew their racist talking points. So anyway, man, tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content over here. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you.